What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. I am rocking it solo. It is Wednesday, 22nd. Here to talk out some NBA with you guys. I just made the only video. This is going to be a public video for the public, obviously. If you want access to the members-only videos, the write-ups, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. And before I hop into this NBA slate, I'm going to shout out our promoters real quick. So first off, Jazz Sports. You guys already know by now. If you join Jazz Sports, you get a no-risk wager up to $1,000 in your first bet. That's $1K bet for first wagers graded a loss. If you haven't signed up yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. The promo code is 5-pack. And then Loose Lines. Loose Lines is an affiliate of Jazz Sports. At Loose Lines, they offer really good lines and odds, reduced juice, and other perks. You also get an additional 50% when you deposit over there. So, again, the promo code for Loose Lines is also 5-pack. Really, I encourage and recommend all you guys check it out. The links will be in the description section of the videos. And with that out of the way, let's dive into some NBA. I got 5 guys picked out I would really like to talk about. So starting off, and obviously I like the Orlando-Atlanta game a lot. Only 5 games with the Toronto-Chicago game getting postponed. So a little bit of a smaller slate for a Wednesday, but that's okay. So starting up top, I think a guy that we look to in all formats is going to be Wright. So obviously he hasn't been that productive basically all season, but now that Trae Young's out, that's huge for Wright. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately for ownership, PK did price him up a little bit. He's still a lock for me at 4,600. Wright's been a productive NBA player for years now. He's had good stints with a couple of different teams. Whenever he gets run, he's been good from a fantasy perspective. And I think in a really, really good matchup against Orlando, who's missing a ton of bodies as well, Wright looks like one of the best plays in all formats, even at this increased price point. So a guy that I think we're looking at everywhere. Next, there's a couple studs. I made this point on my members-only video that as much value as there is tonight, you can't only use value. You want to spend up somewhere. That's just the nature of the beast in NBA DFS. Nikola Jokic is the top stud on every slate. Really stinks roster him at 2 spots, center and utility. Paul George, on the other hand, you can roster at 5 different spots, being that he's shooting guard and small forward in a great spot against. Came back and was solid in 40 minutes against the Spurs. The Clippers got rolled in that game. In fact, a much better effort from them against the Sacramento Kings team that's beaten them twice already this year. I think we see some revenge from the Clippers side. Pace up spot. I mentioned the Kings are missing a ton of bodies. I love Paul George here, and the fact that he's eligible at shooting guard, small forward, guard forward, and utility just makes it so much easier to roster him than a couple of different studs on this slate. So he's my top priority spend-up option. I like him in all formats. Next up, the prototypical cog in the machine everywhere, 4,500, Cedi Osman. So I'm not the biggest Cedi fan in the world. Obviously, when the Cavs are healthy, I wouldn't really play him. With Mobley out, with Jared Allen out, with Kevin Love question. Obviously, we know Colin Sexton's still out. He's going to be out for the year. Cedi's just going to have to play big minutes tonight. Played 27 against Milwaukee last time out. I wouldn't expect the 40 that he dropped, but I think he could easily get you 30 plus here. And at 500, that's going to be one of our value plays on the slate. I wouldn't call him an absolute locks and must play here just because there is so much other value, but he looks like the safer pieces at this price point, given the Cavs, COVID/injury situation at the moment. All right, next up, maybe my overall play on the slate. He's getting the ownership to boot, as he should be. That's going to be John Collins. So I mentioned Trae Young is out. Clint Capella is also out. If you have either of those guys out, Collins gets a big boost. With Young being out, he gets a big boost in usage, in just everything, basically. And with Capella out, he a big bump in playing center. So when he plays center, his DFS production is much higher. I don't think that changes here in a supreme spot. Orlando team that gives up a ton of DFS points. Orlando is also shorthanded, which can't hurt him here. They didn't price him up for the spot. I think we just lock in Collins everywhere and throw out the key. All right, last but certainly not least is going to be Robin Lopez. So I like Lopez more if Carter's out, but it doesn't really matter with Bamba out, with Mo Wagner out. Orlando's missing so many bodies that even if Carter plays, I think you're going to still see bigs from Robin Lopez. This is never an issue whether he can be productive when he gets run. It's an issue of will he get run. Well, 33 and 38 minutes the past 2 games, obviously been uber productive, 32 and 30, 90K points. Price has increased a little bit, but I still think we just play him everywhere on, especially if there's out. I wouldn't say he's got 10x upside, but clearly he's got upside at this price point, as evidenced by his past 2 games. Even on a slate loaded with value, he looks like one of the better value pieces overall on the slate, and I like him a lot. The only Lopez is that he's only center eligible, but even with other centers I like a lot, he's a priority, at least as of now. That's what I got for you guys. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you want more videos, more content, more write-ups, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. Stuff headed your way in the near future as far as betting content goes, so I'm excited for that. And I appreciate you guys as always. Thanks again.